Oh, an infant. Over to back milestone. What does that even mean?
What, you don't know about infant physical milestones?
Who even are you?
Where? Wait, can I at least wear shoes? If you have to. Welcome to Child Development for New Parents.
Today, we're going to be talking about the physical development milestones of infancy.
So there's been a lot of debates over how infants develop. Is it through strict concrete stages, or is it more of a slow gradual growth? Well, the idea of physical milestones in infancy was pioneered by Jean Piaget himself. It's important to know about these milestones because this is how a lot of infants are assessed on their development. And as parents, you should understand where your child is in these developmental stages. Now, major physical developments for the infant begin at around 3 months, when they first begin to acquire skills that involve full body movement, including rolling, sitting, standing, otherwise known as.
Now, it may have seemed like your child had rolled over before this point, but it likely wasn't intentional. At 3 months, however, you may see the infant do something like this. Don't be misled. Although a seemingly small movement, this is an important first step to physical development.
Rolling over provides the grounds for the baby to later begin crawling, but before it gets there, it must go through a few other stages first. Sitting without being held up or supported can start around 6 months and can help the infant stand with assistance, which can be done somewhere between 5 and 12 months. Around that same time, it will also begin hands and knees crawling before learning to walk with assistance. Now, crawling is an innate skill, and it allows the child to explore their environment to some degree. Although crawling provides the mobility, the motivation to walk arises from the desire to move faster and to be able to have use of the hands while doing so. Walking alone usually occurs around 8 to 19 months, but they will likely be able to stand alone before then. Being taught to sit, walk, and stand early can lead to some early development in other areas, but factors like natural predispositions and parental efforts have effects on how long it will take an infant to reach these milestones.
Oh,
Yeah?
what about things like grabbing? When does that develop?
I'm glad you asked.
At 6 months, the child now has the ability to sit on its own. It can also do this.
Using our small muscles, specifically in our hands, is difficult in the beginning of life. We start developing these muscles by reaching and holding on to things like small toys. Starting around 6 months, infants will be able to put objects in their mouths, shake their rattle, and move toys from one hand to the other. At 12 months, the infant is able to begin grabbing small objects with their thumb and index finger like this, otherwise known as a pincer grip. This is also when they will be able to bang objects together and put small items in larger containers like this, a sign of their developing coordination. Around 18 months, the next large developments begin occurring.
For example, the ability to scribble.
At this time, the infant will start pulling off things like their hats and socks, but will also be able to turn book pages. They will also likely be starting to walk at this point and therefore able to carry a toy while walking. At 2 years, they are able to stack 3 to 4 blocks and open things like cabinets, drawers, and boxes.
They can also drink from a straw. Now, let's turn towards.
In a study done in 2024, researchers found a link between gross motor skills and predictions made by infants. Now, it's important for infants to make inferences or predictions about their environment so that they can have successful goal-oriented interactions with their environment. And what the study found was that infants made the most accurate inferences when their observations aligned with what they were able to do physically. So when they saw something happening that they could imagine doing themselves, they made better inferences about it. Sitting also has important consequences to the development of the infant. In 2022, researchers found that sitting impacted the development of perception, processing, and cognition in infants. Sitting was also found to give infants the opportunity to have special interactions with their caregivers and therefore more learning opportunities. And in case you were wondering about the validity of fine motor skill developmental assessments, They were even able to, in 2017, make a computerized version of these tests to provide quicker feedback and results. And this is especially important when monitoring the development of the infant, especially for children facing developmental delays. But it's also important to note that milestones do not occur during precise age ranges. These are all average measures. Each child is different, and while monitoring their development through these stages is important, constantly comparing it to a set of averages can cause unnecessary stress for the parent and unrealistic expectations for the child. All right, everyone, that concludes tonight's lecture. I'll see you all next week for cognitive development milestones in infancy.
Wow, I can't believe how much infants have to learn.
I know, right? Learning about child development is super cool. Has your baby reached any big milestones yet?
Yeah, actually, they just learned how to roll over on their back.
Oh, cool. How old are they?
3 days.
What? But that doesn't develop until 3 months.
Aw, happy birthday. Aw. I feel like my own kid is grown up. A toddler? Oh no, not the terrible twos.